See, there is a place you can enter in God, that when God speaks one thing, God can look up at you and say, you can never be poor. And anytime poverty tries to come to you, God will always force provision to come. That was how men of old survived. They came into a place in God, upon the altar of sacrifice, and God looked upon them. He said, I will give you my power. And anytime they pass, power passed with them, not because of anything. And utterance came from a place that cannot lie. Because from that place, every utterance is help, help, help. It's Ebenezer. Because anytime God speaks to a man, it's because God wants to help the man. I know you have heard God, but what you don't understand is that beyond what you have heard is the help of God. The last time God speak to you, go and check. He was trying to help you. But just that you did not actually listen to the help. You were excited that God talked to you. So you went everywhere and tell people, do you know God talked to me today? When was the last time he talked to you? And you could not acknowledge and realize Ebenezer. Because out of weakness you were supposed to be made strong, but you could not decipher. And because you took for granted the speakings of God, now it's 2 months, it's 3 months. You are fasting and praying, and yet again he's not speaking. Why? In the days Samson take for granted the consecration of God and the ordinances of God, he will beg again, one more chance, because there is sweetness in the help of God. He thought he was a strong man. He was not a strong man. He was just a man helped by God. And the day God withdrew himself from him, he saw how infirmities can weaken man's strength. How many men were once upon a time anointed? If case we forget, many of us can remember. Most of the people that mentored us on campus then, I don't know where they are today. Many years ago, the Apostle Adam, when he was serving in Kano, he will come to our campus, because then of course his wife was on our campus. He will come there and he will tell us that if we don't pray, we have an expiring date, we'll backslide. It's just a matter of time. I'm like, what is this man saying? He cleared a bush. He said, go and pray. If you don't die, you will see God. I never knew that prayer was actually part of the place required to position you to access the altar. And by the time you access the altar, you become a sacrifice that is accepted. When you return back to that scripture, the Bible says you have to present yourself as a living sacrifice, not a dead sacrifice. Many of you are coming to God dead. You are supposed to come alive, then he will kill you, then he will give you life. So you wonder why God cannot accept you as a sacrifice. It's because you are a dead sacrifice. What makes a man a dead sacrifice? Infirmities. I'm not joking. Do you know that a carnal man can be praying, God use me, God use me, God use me? It's a wrong prayer. God does not need to use you. You are supposed to be praying, God help me, God break me, God bend me. The man that should pray God should use him is a man that is an accurate perspective in alignment with God. That one is the one that can stand as a priest that is perfect. Say, who can stand upon the holy mountains of the Lord? Those that have clean hands, that have not lifted up their souls unto vanity. Those are the ones that can stand and say, God, this territory needs light, let there be light. Because those are the ones that when they speak, the whole of heaven come upon the face of the earth. When a carnal man speaks, his word fall to the ground. Why? Because when the person appears before God, he can't be accepted as a sacrifice. He's a dead sacrifice. It has to be living. In those times, you cannot even bring a sacrifice that is spot and wrinkle. You can't bring an animal that is not too good and say, God take. God can't take. But many of us are coming to God with all kinds of infirmities, and all what we do is to come and showcase ourselves and think that, okay, we are the ones happening. No. Before you become the ones happening, you actually become the ones that nobody knows about. At that point where God has taken you to the altar, he will allow you to remain within that crucible to be burned. Many of you don't even know why the Hebrew boys have to pass through the furnace of fire. Do you know why? They came to Babylon with infirmities. You see, Lucifer was put upon an altar. He was put upon a place where he needs to actually be burnt daily, so that peradventure, if any kind of iniquity will arise, it will be shut down. Because fire burn, light reveal. So God ensure that the fire of the Almighty burn him so that he can become a minister. Because he ministers unto the Lord. Because he makes his angels wings, his ministers are flames of fire. So Lucifer was both a minister and an angel. And because he was ministering to the Lord, he has to be burned. If you must be a minister of the Lord, that your voice will be a savor that the Lord can perceive, he must have burnt you. And in his burning is a purification process. You can only understand that when you have done basic chemistry and understand the fractional distillation of crude oil, because it is required. As flammable as PMS can be, is coming out of fire. As flammable as all these petroleum things can be, they are coming out of fire. Why didn't they burn there? It was because when God began to do his thing, it became like a wonder. What was designed to kill you was actually designed to make you stronger. But just because you did not understand, you yield to it. Those infirmities that the devil has put, allow it. God has permitted it to be there so that you can come upon the altar and begin to cry. So that in the days you begin to cry, as you begin to help and walk upon it, and oil will not rest. But many of us, when God begins to help us, we neglect him. By the time we neglect him, God now permit the infirmities to come again. And now he will allow the thing to remain for a while, just so that you can learn that no man help himself in this journey. And there are no supermen in this journey. Because many of the people that were on the landscape that were supermen, we don't even know where they are now. What happened to that your brother that you were praying together on campus? What happened to those sisters that you were holding their hands? I know a lady that time on our campus that when she began to pray in chapel, you can't sleep again. Pa, 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 pa. We told her, this one you are doing like this, will you be married? She said, forget about that one. Today, she got pregnant out of wedlock. What deception was cast upon? The day you neglect Ebenezer, that day you wake up and realize that you are a filthy rag. That oil upon your head that makes you glamour, that makes you excited, in the day you forget that there was a help supplied to you, you'll be shocked. I always spoke about that man that sang that song, I pledge allegiance to the Lamb with all my strength. He woke up one day and saw that he could not access Ebenezer, and he wake up and say, Kai, I think I'm a gay. I think I'm not supposed to marry a woman, I'm supposed to marry a man. And as I'm talking to you now, he has found company with a man and he dwell. What happened to the corridors of light that you have access to? The supply of it was upon the strength of Ebenezer, and now he could not access it. The man that sing the song, don't worry, be happy. If landlord come to your house, don't worry, be happy. One day he wake up and hang himself. Why? He became frustrated and depressed. You were the one that told us not to be worried, be happy in every situation. What happened? He could not access Ebenezer. In the day you cannot access Ebenezer, your pastor can drive the car to Third Milan Bridge and look upon his life and jump inside the water. Ebenezer, the help of God.